We talk about being prepared, friends, and I have some new insights I'd just like to share with you. I know a lot of you are not where you'd like to be. So if you want a hardcore move to the mountains and hide in a bunker type prepping video, this is not going to be that. I'm going to talk about how a lot of us have life priorities that are more important than surviving. We want to live today. And a lot of you guys are living in cities, and you know that that's probably not the best place to be. You're living there because you got family there, you got work there, you have reasons why you're there, and I'm not going to tell you to move. What I am going to tell you is there are ways for you to be prepared wherever you are. You can always be more prepared where you are, and there are challenges in every location where you're going to be. Now, are some places more challenging to survive what may be coming? Civil unrest, World War III, all that kind of stuff? Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to be living in the downtown area of a major American city with what's about to happen? I think most of us will probably agree that's probably not the best idea in the world. You might also agree that living in the Philippines, right next to China, is probably not the best place to live either, and yet that's where I am right now. I have my beautiful wife right over there behind the camera. I'm waving at you. Anyway, she's smiling. She's shy about being on camera, but that's part of the reason why I'm here in the Philippines. Also part of the reason is ministry. I believe that there's a lot of ministry, missions work to be done here in the Philippines as well as over in India. I've talked about that at length. I have my reasons to be here. And does that mean that I am more vulnerable and not as prepared? We got hit by that typhoon a few weeks ago, and I was missing my preps like nobody's business. I'm telling you what. I had propane, I had stoves, I had everything ready to go, battery backups, electronics backed up, ham radios. I was ready to go there, and now I get here and not ready to go. I haven't had time to really get things organized. I'm going to walk you through being in an apartment here in the Philippines, and also be thinking about how you can be prepared not just by living and being self-sufficient, but by stocking up, using your space efficiently, and also being prepared to bug out like nobody's business. Not being where the disaster happens is one of the best ways to avoid and be prepared for it, right? If you're not where the disaster happens, then the disaster doesn't affect you for the most part, right? If a typhoon's coming and you just leave, then you're okay. You're not affected by it. Same thing with hurricanes, other things. If there's civil unrest and you're not there, your stuff may get impacted, but you won't be. So we're going to talk about portability. We're going to talk about the new strategy that I have, which is, and just talking about how everyone's preparedness strategy is not going to be the same. So if you're living on a farm and you got gooses and ducks and chickens and head of cattle, your experience and your preparedness is going to be at a different level than mine. Your ability to withstand certain environments and situations are going to be different than mine. But hey, if the disaster happens where you are, it's going to affect you more than it's going to affect me, who's not there, right? So let's talk about that. First, you're not necessarily going to be where you're most prepared. The objective in life is not to survive. It's to thrive. It's to live your life. Go back to World War II. People saw that one coming, and they saw that it was going to be a big deal, and indeed it was. The whole world, for 5 to 7 years, depending on how you count it, was turned upside down. The whole world. Unless you lived in certain countries. Then it kind of proceeded, for the most part, apace. They were impacted economically, there was some impacts there, but they weren't impacted dramatically by things, right? Mexico was not super dramatically impacted, nor was Costa Rica by World War II. Anyway, so not being there is a great option, but after those 5 to 7 years of World War II, things went back for the most part, to normal. Yeah, there was a lot of damage, there was a lot of rebuilding, but as long as you weren't in a few certain select places. It did not turn out well for you if you were in North Korea, did not turn out well for you if you were in China, did absolutely not turn out well for you if you were in the lands occupied by the Russians. The Soviet Union was not a good place to be. Yeah, for the people there, surviving World War II did not really lead them into a land of utopia. It just sucked a little less. And for the most of the world, it started getting better pretty fast. So, with that in mind, I want you to think about impending global problems. People are going to adapt. People are going to survive. People in Iowa and Kansas are probably going to survive a little better than people in New York City. People in Los Angeles County, they're going to struggle a little more. If they can get to someplace better, that's going to be better for them probably, but a lot of them are going to be stuck with things. With nuclear war, that adds a whole dimension there too. All right, so what is your purpose in life? What is important to you? Is family the most important thing for you? Is your calling from God the most important thing? And for a lot of you, family and your calling from God is one and the same. So you have your family, and somebody on YouTube is telling you to move to Idaho or to eastern Tennessee, but that's not where your family lives. You might choose not to move. Your job is not there, and you need to pay off some bills, and you need to continue working so that you can get more prepared. And for at least a little while longer, you're not prepared to move to those places. So, I ain't your mama. I'm not going to sit here and say you're making wrong decisions. You're making decisions, and you're going to live with those decisions. And a lot of you said moving to the Philippines is not a great decision. And that's fine. You're not my mama either. So my mama loves that I am here and loves what I'm doing right now. And so, that's what matters to me is my family, my loved ones, and I have my reasons for what I'm doing. Okay, this isn't a defense of what I'm doing. It just is. But what I will say is that you guys have your own reasons too, and you need to do what you need to do. And so with that, you need to prep around your life. You need to prep around what's important to you. You need to go to accomplish those things. So if it's family, if it's work, if it's you just really love a certain part of the country and you're willing to make the sacrifices to make that work, that is what you're going to do, right? So now you've made your life choice. You're going to be where you're going to be. You're living in the building, facility, whatever that you want to be in. And once you do that, you now have to live with that consequence of that choice. But there are ways to minimize the consequences of that choice, right? By having a good bug out plan and having stuff ready to go, and with a plan of where you're going to go, you can leave without staying for as things spiral. As things move the wrong direction, you can say, time to get out of Dodge. And when you move out of the location, you minimize what's going on with that, right? So that's really what I'm saying, okay? That you need to do those things. Now, when you stay in an apartment, that's going to lead to some challenges. Are you going to have a hard time stocking up? Yeah. One of the things that most people down here in the Philippines do is they use bottled water, like the big blue jugs of water. And during the crisis, our power outage for multiple days, that was a lot more bearable because we had jugs of water, right? We had jugs of drinking water, And even though the tap water got a little polluted in some places of the city more than other places, it was not really fit for drinking and not really fit for showering with. Okay, you didn't want to wash your clothes with it because there was nasty stuff in the water in some places, right? But we had bottled water, we were good. But it just got ridiculously hot. That was something that we do not want to do again. Anyway, so having backup power, backup water, backup food, backup way of cooking, having these things started to be built up so that you're more resilient is kind of what we're starting to do here. And also just having your plan for what you're going to do about getting out of the city too. That's also a thing. You don't want to be in the city when things go sideways. The Chinese occupation comes to the Philippines. I don't really want to be in the city. Being out somewhere else sounds like a great idea. So with that, what is it going to look like for you? Well, it's not going to look like for you what Canadian Prepper is doing, or city prepping, right? Great guys, they're prepared. They kind of know what they're doing. They got their stuff squared away. Or you want to look at pinball. You're going to see that these people have different strategies about how they're going about things. They have different resources that they've acquired, and they have different kind of plan for how they're going to get through what's coming. Nobody knows exactly what's coming. A lot of people have some suspicions about what's coming and what's going to look like. But because of that, we don't know. And when we don't know, you can only prepare for generalities. Some people think it's going to be more economic. It's going to be rare resources, and you need to be producing your resources because it's going to be hard to get them. Other people are going to be like, it's more grid down type situation where you need to be self-sufficient in everything, in the sense of power, and you can't buy things. You're not going to be able to trade with anyone, right? What is it actually going to look like? I don't know, and neither do you. But being portable is a strategy. Being fixed in place is a strategy. And if you're fixed in place, things can happen at your location that are going to force you to be portable, are going to force you to get out of town. And if you're stationary and you're dug in like a tick, you may be able to prepare your bug out plan, right? And have all that equipment and that transportation all ready to go, and you can then get going. If you're very portable, if you're very mobile, you need to be able to be prepared to dig in, because there's going to be certain circumstances where you need to dig in. And I was working over in Central Asia, in the Afghanistan region, and in surrounding countries. We had lockdowns. They weren't COVID lockdowns. They were don't get shot in the streets kind of lockdowns. And we stayed inside. We all huddled together in the office, and we just stayed out of the way. Just don't want to be in anyone's way. People out in the streets doing their thing, they're probably not going to come to our office or somebody's house to come looking for us. So therefore, we can just stay out of sight. We don't want to get caught up in things. You need to even if you're pretty mobile, if you're in a hotel at a resort or you're on vacation and things go sideways, you need to be able to hunker down in your hotel, because that's where you have. And so even however portable you think you are, you need to be prepared to dig in. So every little thing that you can get makes you more prepared, helps you out. If you've ever traveled, and these days, if you fly on an airplane, right, one of the challenges is you're not allowed to have water or liquids on the plane, right? So with that, how do you have water for drinking? That was something that we kind of ran into, is just like you have to get rid of your water in order to get on the plane, and then when you get on the plane or in the airport and you get off the plane, it's like now we don't have any water. That's a problem in the Philippines because it's just so stinking hot, right? You're sweating and you're just like, I need more water. So what can you do? Even in being in a location for a short period of time, how can you get stocked up? How can you load up on water? How can you load up on food or electronic battery packs? No matter how fast you're traveling, having some backups goes a long way. Every little thing. If you add to your stash in your homestead, your 27th flashlight, that has very little impact on your ability to survive hardship. But if you stockpile your very first LED flashlight so you don't drain the battery on your cell phone, that can have a very big impact on your. So marginally speaking, when you're mobile, every little thing counts so very much. When you're stuck in place and you have a lot more resources, every little additional resource adds a lot less to your survivability. But you need to be thinking about both. Having a place where you have a high amount of resources and survivability, and having those resources concentrated, especially if you're in like an apartment or someplace that's not optimal, doesn't have storage barns. You can't stack 5-gallon buckets to the ceiling and have storage rooms. If that's the case, if you're short on space, you need to build dense, compact, and efficient storage solutions, right? You still need a stockpile of food, but you know what? You can get a year's worth of food to take fairly limited amount of space. It's the truth. Canned goods pack quite a punch. Making sure you have cooking oil. Cooking oil brings a lot of calories to the party, and you combine that with rice and beans, or rice and something else that kind of fills that need, like animal protein. This can complete your nutritional requirements. Now, you want nutrients, you want lots of elegant nutrients. A lot of that does come through animal meat, animal proteins. And if you're stockpiling meat, canned meat or something like that, rice, beans, canned meats, you can get that to fit in a relatively small amount of space. You don't need nearly as much rice and beans if you're having a can of Spam along with it. Now that can get expensive, but it is compact, right? So thinking along those lines, you can build up a good bit of food that isn't all that doesn't take up too much space. Also, thinking about your space creatively can really open up a lot of avenues too. I know a lot of you guys are stuck in an apartment, condo, or something along those lines, and you kind of don't like it. You wish you had more space. You wish you could grow a garden, but life has put you in a place where you don't have that for reasons beyond your control or your choices. It doesn't matter. What you can do where you are is more than what you have already done. And I think that's the real message for everyone and everyone who's a prepper kind of feels that in their heart, right? It's like, there's more I could do. And most of you have some plans and ideas of what you're going to do next. Just keep moving forward. Keep making yourself more prepared, helping people around you to get more prepared, because that helps you out a lot, and your loved ones, help them get more prepared. All right, friends, let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Give me some of your ideas and some of your tips to share with the community. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.